The protagonist is a struggling woman from the bottom of society. Her mother has been bedridden with a serious illness, and the protagonist sacrifices her own youth to stay by her mother's side. Only after her mother passes away does she secretly flee abroad, hoping to start a new life. But since she's unfamiliar with this place, the protagonist has no choice but to work in a factory, enduring long hours and being exploited by an unscrupulous boss. To save money, she moves into a cheap rental property that doesn't require registration. The landlord, a man with a big beard, seems nice enough but insists on having the rent paid 6 months in advance. After paying, the protagonist's savings are nearly depleted. According to the landlord, there are only 2 tenants in the building. One night, the protagonist dreams of her mother. In the dream, her mother is happy that the protagonist stayed to care for her. But suddenly, a strange box appears in the corner of the hospital room, and 2 hands stretch out from inside. The protagonist wakes up in a fright. The next day, while heading out to work, the protagonist meets another tenant, a blonde woman. She greets her politely, but the blonde woman doesn't respond, leaving the protagonist feeling awkward. She then decides to leave the house, but soon realizes that there are not just 2 tenants, but a whole group. At the factory, the protagonist works hard. Suddenly, she feels a hand on her shoulder. When she turns around, there's nothing there. She thinks it's just exhaustion playing tricks on her. After work, the protagonist tries to ask her colleague, a black woman, to help her get an ID card. However, the price is too high, so she goes to her boss and begs for an advance on her salary. But to her surprise, the black woman steals all of the protagonist's savings and quits her job. Desperate, the protagonist goes to the boss to ask for the black woman's address, but ends up getting fired. She sits on the bus, trying to contact the woman, but by nightfall, she still has no luck. On her way back, the streetlights begin to flicker. When she looks up, she sees that a moth has flown into one of the lights. As she continues walking, a woman in white appears under the streetlight, watching her. When she returns to the rental house, more strange things happen. She hears a woman crying downstairs. Cautiously, the protagonist opens the door to check, but the room is empty. Just as she's about to leave, a shadowy figure appears inside the room. She doesn't notice it and proceeds back to her room to rest. However, she notices that the landlord's study door is open. Curious, she enters and is drawn to an old 1980s tape recorder on the desk. She puts on the headphones and hears a recording about an evil ritual. She also notices a photo on the desk, and in it, there's a box that looks exactly like the one from her dream. Suddenly, the tape recorder makes a strange noise. The protagonist is so startled that she drops the picture frame. As she crouches down to pick it up, a figure flashes across the room. Terrified, she rushes out of the study and back to her room, where she decides to take a hot shower. But as she does, she hears strange noises coming from the drain. This film is titled No One Gets Out Alive.